What if I told you that the English skill most likely to change your life is not the one most people study? Grammar didn't get anyone a promotion. Vocabulary didn't make anyone a new friend at a conference. But knowing how to make someone feel comfortable in conversation in 30 seconds in English, that changes everything. Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 16, and it is deliberately lighter than last week. If episode 15 was the job interview, this is what happens after you get the job. The work social, the networking event, the dinner with colleagues you've just met, the small talk at a conference while you're waiting for the keynote to start. These conversations are short, fast, friendly. And for many English learners, they know the hardest conversations of all because there's no script, because the topics jump around, because native speakers use idioms, abbreviations, and humor that nobody ever explained, and because silence in a social situation feels different to silence in a classroom. Today, we fix all of that. 15 vocabulary words, the social kind, not the textbook kind. 3 conversations, starting small talk with a stranger, navigating a work networking event, and recovering when a conversation goes awkward. 8 listening tips for fast, natural English. A section on the things people say that accidentally kill conversations. A guide to gracefully exiting a conversation, because nobody teaches that, and 30 bonus phrases across 6 social categories. This episode is fun. Let's go.
15 words. These are the social kind, the ones you'll hear at a party, a work event, or a networking evening. Say every one aloud. Small talk. Light, casual conversation about unimportant topics, the social glue of English culture. Example, I'm not great at small talk, but I'm learning to enjoy it. To mingle. To move around a social event and talk to different people. Example, the host encouraged everyone to mingle before dinner was served. Icebreaker, a question, game, or comment designed to start a conversation easily. Example, a good icebreaker at a work event is asking what someone does outside the office. To hit it off, to immediately like someone and get along well from the start. Example, we hit it off straight away. We talked for the entire evening. Common ground, shared interests, experiences, or opinions between two people. Example, finding common ground is the fastest way to build a real connection. To follow up, to make contact again after a first meeting, by email, message, or call. Example, I'll follow up with you after the conference. Let me take your card. Networking. Building professional relationships that may be useful in the future. Example, I find networking events useful, but a bit exhausting, to be honest. Rapport, a close, comfortable, and harmonious relationship with someone. Example, she had a real rapport with the team. Everyone relaxed around her. To wrap up, to bring something to an end, a meeting, an event, or a conversation. Example, I should wrap up this conversation. I can see you need to get going. To name drop. To casually mention important or impressive people you know. Example, he kept name-dropping during the presentation. It came across as insecure. To make a good impression. To create a positive opinion of yourself in someone's mind. Example, I wanted to make a good impression on the new team from day one. To break the ice. To say or do something that makes people feel more comfortable. Example, she told a funny story that really broke the ice at the start of the evening. Elevator pitch. A very short, clear description of who you are or what you do. Example, you need a strong elevator pitch for networking events. Under 60 seconds. Mutually beneficial, good or useful for both people involved. Example, we agreed to introduce each other to our networks. It felt mutually beneficial. To keep in touch. To stay in contact with someone over time. Example, it was great meeting you. Let's keep in touch.
Those 15 words are the foundation. Now let's hear them in action.
It's the morning of a business conference in Manchester. Marco, a product manager visiting from Italy, is standing alone at the coffee station waiting for the opening keynote. Sophie, a British marketing consultant, notices he looks a little out of place and decides to introduce herself. Watch how Sophie starts the conversation, moves through small talk topics naturally, finds common ground, and ends the exchange with a concrete next step.
Morning! Great coffee spread, isn't it? I always judge a conference by how good the first coffee is.
Ha! In that case, this one is looking very promising. I'm Marco, by the way.
Sophie, lovely to meet you. Is this your first time at this conference?
Yes, it is. I heard about it through a colleague. You?
Third year running. I practically live here in October. What brings you up to Manchester?
I'm based in London now, but I flew in specifically for this. I work in product management. We're launching something in the UK market next spring, and I wanted to get a feel for the landscape.
Oh, interesting. What sector?
B2B SaaS, project management tools, mainly for mid-sized construction companies. It's a niche, but a good one.
That's actually really timely. There's a panel this afternoon on prop tech and construction that you'd probably find useful. I was going to skip it, but now I'm reconsidering.
Oh, really? I hadn't noticed that on the agenda. Which slot is it?
2:30 main hall. Are you around this afternoon?
Absolutely. I'll put it in the diary right now. Do you work in that space too?
Adjacent, you could say. I do marketing consultancy for technology companies, mostly go-to-market strategy. We might actually have some common ground worth exploring.
I genuinely like that. We're trying to figure out the UK go-to-market right now, and an outside perspective would be really valuable.
Well, let's swap details before the keynote. And if you want, find me after the 2:30 session and we can grab a coffee and talk properly.
That sounds great. Here's my card. Old school, I know.
I love a business card. Right, I think they're about to start. Shall we head in?
After you. And thanks for breaking the ice. I was starting to feel a bit lost.
That's what conferences are for. See you in there.
What makes this small talk work? Sophie opens with an observation about the environment, the coffee, not a direct question, low pressure. She asks, "Is this your first time here?" A natural, non-intrusive opener anyone can answer. Marco leads with his professional context unprompted, appropriate at a business conference. Sophie finds specific common ground, go-to-market strategy, and names it explicitly. The conversation ends with a concrete next step, a specific time, a specific place, and a reason to meet again. Key vocabulary used: common ground, break the ice, networking, and follow-up.
It's a Friday evening work drinks event at a London tech company. Yuki, a Japanese software engineer who joined the company 3 months ago, is attending her first company social. She's chatting with Dan, a senior developer she's seen in meetings but never spoken to one-to-one, and Priya from the customer success team. Notice how Yuki navigates the shift from work topics to personal topics naturally, and how she handles a moment when she doesn't understand a cultural reference.
Yuki, good to finally catch you outside of a stand-up. How are you settling in?
Really well, I think. Everyone's been incredibly welcoming. The code base took a bit of getting used to, but I feel much more comfortable now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a beast. 3 years of technical debt and counting. But you seem to be handling it fine from what I can see.
I keep hearing great things about you from the product team, Yuki. Apparently, you flagged a bug that had been hiding for months? Oh, yes. It was actually quite by accident. I was looking into something completely unrelated and stumbled across it. Pure luck.
Don't undersell it. That bug had been driving us mad. Pure luck or not, we'll take it.
That's kind of you. So, how long have both of you been here?
4 years for me. I can't quite believe it. Time flies when you're buried in pull requests.
2 years for me. I joined right after lockdown, which was a strange way to start a job, fully remote for the first 6 months. I can imagine. I actually started my previous role remotely too. It makes the in-person social events feel that much more important when they finally happen.
Absolutely. So, what do you do outside of work, Yuki? Are you a Londoner now, or still finding your feet?
Definitely still finding my feet. I've been exploring mostly. I went to Borough Market last weekend and was completely overwhelmed by how much food there was. Borough Market is dangerous for your wallet. Did you find the raclette stall? I don't think so. What's raclette?
Melted Swiss cheese scraped over potatoes and pickles. It sounds strange, but it's incredible. Essential Borough Market experience.
That does sound incredible. I'll add it to the list. You two clearly know London well. Any other recommendations? Too many. We could be here all night. Are you into art at all? I love it. Back in Tokyo, I used to go to galleries almost every weekend.
Then you need to get to the Tate Modern. It's free and it's extraordinary. And the Barbican for exhibitions. Actually, are you around next Saturday? There's an opening night at the Barbican that Priya and I are going to.
I genuinely love that. This is exactly what I was hoping would happen at these events. Well, that's what they're for. Let me add you to the group chat.
What makes this social conversation work? Dan opens with, "How are you settling in?" The ideal opener for a new colleague. Priya uses a specific positive detail she heard about Yuki. Makes Yuki feel seen and valued. Yuki deflects the compliment graciously. Pure luck, culturally intelligent, and likable. The shift from work to personal topics happens naturally via the question, "What do you do outside work?" Yuki doesn't know raclette. She asks directly and without embarrassment. This is the right move. The conversation ends with a concrete plan. Barbican, next Saturday, exactly like conversation 1.
Not every conversation goes smoothly, and this one is going to show you exactly what to do when things get uncomfortable. James has just been turned down for a promotion. His colleague Sam doesn't know this and accidentally brings it up. Then Sam says something slightly too personal. Watch how both of them navigate the awkwardness with real English phrases that de-escalate, redirect, and rescue the moment.
Morning, James. I heard there were some internal promotions announced. Congratulations must be in order.
Not for me, actually, but thanks for thinking of me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely put my foot in it. I just assumed you'd be on the list. You've been here so long.
Honestly, don't worry about it.
These things happen. It wasn't the outcome I was hoping for, but I'm okay. That's really gracious of you. I hope management has at least given you a clear path forward.
We're having a conversation about it. I'd rather not say too much at this stage. You know how these things are.
Of course. Completely understandable. I shouldn't have brought it up.
You weren't to know. Honestly, it's fine. How are you doing? You look like you've had a good week.
Actually, yes. We had a really strong quarter in customer success. Not that I want to talk about work too much. Are you coming to the team lunch on Thursday?
I think so.
Yes.
Is it the Italian place again?
Yes. Same as last time. I was hoping for somewhere different, but I seem to be outvoted every time.
I've been trying to suggest the Thai place on Cannon Street for months. There's a coalition of 2 of us, and we're losing badly.
Make it a coalition of 3. I'm in. Right, I should get back. I've got a call in 5 minutes. But it's good to see you, James, and I really am sorry about before. Stop apologizing. Genuinely, it's fine. Enjoy your call. See you Thursday.
What makes this awkward conversation work? Not for me, actually. A short, dignified answer that closes the topic without drama. I put my foot in it, a British idiom meaning to accidentally say something embarrassing. Useful to recognize. James says, "I'd rather not say too much at this stage." A professional way to deflect without being rude. James immediately redirects. "How are you doing? You look like you've had a good week." This is the rescue move. Both find light common ground. The Italian restaurant, the Thai place. Small talk literally saves the moment. 8 tips for listening in social and networking environments. These are different from any other type of English listening because social speech is faster, less formal, and full of cultural references, idioms, and humor. Tip 1. Social English is faster and less clear than formal English. In a job interview or a medical appointment, people speak clearly and at a measured pace. In a social setting, a pub, a work event, a conference break, native speakers drop syllables, blur words together, use contractions constantly, and speak faster than in any professional context. This is not because they're being difficult, it's because they're relaxed. The best way to prepare for this is to listen to English in genuinely casual settings, podcasts, reality TV, unscripted YouTube, not just formal lessons. The listening you do in this series is excellent practice for formal English. Your next step is casual English immersion. Tip 2. Listen for the topic shift signal. Social conversations jump between topics quickly and often unpredictably. Native speakers use specific signals when they're about to change the subject. Anyway, so, speaking of which, that reminds me, on a different note, before I forget, when you hear any of these phrases, a topic change is coming. Stop tracking the previous topic and prepare to receive a new one. This simple skill will dramatically improve how much you follow in fast social conversations. Tip 3. Humor is the hardest thing to understand and the most important. British humor in particular is dry, ironic, often self-deprecating, and can sound like a complaint when it's actually a joke. In Conversation 1, Sophie says, "I always judge a conference by how good the first coffee is." This is a joke, not a serious statement. In Conversation 2, Dan says, "Time flies when you're buried in pull requests." This is deadpan humor. When something sounds like a mild complaint delivered with a slight smile, assume it might be a joke. Smiling along with uncertainty is infinitely better than asking, "Was that a joke?" Tip 4. Back-channeling. The sounds that show you're listening. In English social conversations, the listener is expected to respond continuously with small sounds and words that show they're engaged. Yeah, right. Oh, really? Absolutely. Of course. Tell me about it. Exactly. These are called back channels. If you stay completely silent while someone speaks to you in English, they may think you haven't understood or aren't interested. Practice using these short responses naturally. They are one of the biggest markers of conversational fluency. Tip 5. Don't panic when you miss something. Social English moves fast, and you will miss things. Even native speakers do. The skill is not in understanding everything, it's in recovering quickly. If you miss a specific detail, use context clues from what came before and after. If you miss something entirely and it seems important, use one of these recovery phrases. "Sorry, I missed that. What were you saying? I didn't quite catch that. The music's a bit loud. Could you say that again? I was miles away for a second." These are natural, human, and completely acceptable. Tip 6. Idioms are everywhere, and most of them are about time or effort. British social English is packed with idioms. The most common ones you'll encounter: "I'm rushed off my feet, very busy. It went pear-shaped. We'll play it by ear. I'm absolutely shattered. That's brilliant." British understatement actually meaning extremely good. "Not my cup of tea. We gave it a go." You don't need to use all of these, but recognizing them means you'll follow the conversation instead of getting stuck on a phrase that makes no literal sense. Tip 7. Read the room. The listening that isn't about words. Some of the most important listening in a social setting has nothing to do with words. Watch for body language, turning away. The person wants to end the conversation. Eye contact drifting. They're looking for someone else to talk to. Short answers replacing longer ones. They've lost interest or are tired. These signals allow you to exit gracefully before the conversation fades awkwardly, which is a skill in itself and the subject of Part 8 today. Tip 8. The question that buys you time. In a social conversation, if you need Tip 8. The question that buys you time. In a social conversation, if you need a moment to process what someone just said, or to think of how to respond, use this phrase: "That's interesting. What made you think of that?" Or simply, "Oh really? Tell me more." These questions hand the conversation back to the other person while you process. They also make you sound genuinely engaged and curious, which is one of the most attractive qualities in any conversation partner. Social English is not about talking. It's about making the other person feel heard.
Every learner has accidentally killed a conversation. It's not your fault. Nobody teaches this. These are the 5 things that people say in English social situations that make the conversation grind to a halt, and what to say instead. The line, "I don't really have hobbies." Why it fails? This leaves the other person with nowhere to go. They ask to find connection. You've handed them a dead end. Say instead, "Something I've really been getting into lately is anything genuine." Even if it's a TV series or cooking a specific dish. The line, "What do you do?" Why it fails? In a non-work social setting, leading with this question can feel transactional and make the other person feel evaluated. In Britain especially, it can come across as blunt. Say instead, "So what keeps you busy these days?" Or, "What are you working on at the moment?" Both feel more natural and open. The line, "That's nothing. Let me tell you what happened to me." Why it fails? Immediately topping someone else's story is a well-known conversation killer. It signals you weren't listening. You were waiting to talk. Say instead, "Oh, wow, that's remarkable. And did you ask a follow-up question about their story?" Show them you actually heard them. The line, I know, you mentioned that before." Why it fails? Telling someone they've repeated themselves, even if true, is mortifying for them and creates immediate tension. Say instead, "Say nothing," or smile and let them finish. If it's a close friend, you love that story. Warm, not dismissive. The line, "How much do you earn? How old are you? Why don't you have children?" Why it fails. In British social culture specifically, these questions are considered extremely personal and inappropriate unless you're very close friends. Say instead, ask about career aspirations, not salary. Ask what era of music they like, not their age. Ask what they enjoy about their life, not their family plans. The golden rule underneath all of these, in a social conversation, your job is not to be interesting. Your job is to make the other person feel interesting. Ask follow-up questions, listen actively, show genuine curiosity. That is what people remember.
Nobody teaches this. It is one of the most valuable social English skills you will ever learn. How to end a conversation gracefully, politely, and without leaving the other person feeling dismissed. Most learners either overstay, the conversation runs out of steam and both people are just waiting, or they exit too abruptly, a sudden, "Okay, bye," that feels rude. The secret is a structure. Signal, bridge, close. Here's how it works in real English. The signal, tell them you're about to wrap up. This prepares them psychologically so the exit doesn't feel sudden. Right, I should let you go and mingle. Let you go is generous. It frames the exit as a favor to them, not a departure from them. I don't want to monopolize your evening. You should meet some other people. Self-deprecating and warm, very British. They'll probably say, no, I've loved chatting with you. Before I run away and grab another drink, light and casual, works at drinks events, sets up one final exchange before the exit. The bridge. Give the exit a reason or a next step. A conversation that ends with a next step doesn't feel finished, it feels continued. Let's swap details before we both disappear. Practical and natural. Gets you the contact before you part ways. I'll send you that article I mentioned. What's the best way to reach you? Creates a concrete reason to follow up. They'll remember you because of the specific thing you promised. I'd love to continue this conversation. Shall we find each other after the panel? Complements the conversation while giving it a future. Very smooth. The close. Warm, brief, definitive. Don't linger. The close should take under 10 seconds. It's been really lovely talking with you. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Warm, final, complete. No awkward hovering. Great to meet you. I hope we'll run into each other again today. Leaves the door open without making a specific commitment. Take care and good luck with the launch. I'll be rooting for you. References something specific from the conversation. Memorable and personal. One final note. If someone is clearly trying to exit a conversation with you, let them. Don't keep talking. Give them the signal, the bridge, and the close right back. Knowing how to be exited from gracefully is just as important as knowing how to exit. 30 phrases, 6 categories. Read every one aloud with the energy you'd use at an actual social event. Warm, light, and confident. Starting a conversation. So, how do you know the host, the company, this event? The Universal Social Opener works at literally every social event in English. Great turnout tonight, isn't it? Commenting on the shared environment is always a safe, inclusive opener. I don't think we've met. I'm name, direct and warm. Much better than hovering and waiting to be introduced. What brings you here this evening? Slightly more interesting than what do you do? Invites a story. I love your item or something specific. Where did you get that? A genuine, specific compliment opens people up immediately, keeping the conversation going. Oh, really? Tell me more about that. The most reliable conversation lengthener in English. Use generously. That's fascinating. I hadn't thought about it that way. Shows active listening and invites them to expand further. How long have you been in city, role, industry? A natural follow-up question that opens a longer answer. And what do you make of recent event or trend in their field? Invites an opinion. People love being asked what they think. We actually have quite a bit in common. I also connection. Names the common ground explicitly. This moment is where rapport builds. Handling cultural references you don't know. I'm not familiar with that. Could you tell me more? Honest and curious. Infinitely better than pretending to understand. Is that a British thing? I think I missed the memo on that one. Lightly self-aware, humorous and disarming. Works well in Britain. I'm still learning the cultural references, bear with me. Openly acknowledges you're learning. People find this endearing, not embarrassing.
I don't think we have that back home. What's the equivalent? Turns the gap into an interesting comparison. Invites them to explain. I'll Google that later. It sounds like I've been missing out. Casual and good-humored. Don't let unfamiliar references derail the conversation. Recovering from awkward moments. I completely put my foot in it there. I'm sorry about that. Put my foot in it means accidentally said something embarrassing. Very common British idiom. Let's pretend I didn't say that and start again, shall we? Playful and self-aware, diffuses tension with humor. I think that came out slightly wrong. What I meant was, clarifies without over-apologizing. I don't want to make this awkward. Shall we change the subject? Direct and honest, actually less awkward than lingering on the moment. Moving swiftly on, a classic British phrase for gracefully pivoting away from something uncomfortable. Networking, making a connection. I'd love to stay in touch. What's the best way to reach you? Natural and direct. Much better than hoping they follow you on LinkedIn. I think there might be some interesting synergies between what we do. Synergies is a slightly corporate word. Use it with a knowing smile. I know someone you should really meet. Would it be okay if I made an introduction? The most valuable thing you can do at a networking event. Offer to connect people. Would you be up for a coffee sometime? I'd love to hear more about X. Specific reason plus casual format equals easy yes. Let me send you this article. Resource, contact. I think it'd be useful. Creates a concrete reason to follow up after the event. Exiting a conversation. Right, I'll let you go and mingle. It's been wonderful talking with you. The classic graceful exit. Warm and definitive. I don't want to keep you. I know there are lots of people to catch up with. Generous framing. You're releasing them, not abandoning them. Before I disappear, can we swap details? Gets the contact before you exit. Never leave without this if the conversation was good. I've really enjoyed this. Let's definitely find each other later if we can. Open-ended, but warm. Leaves the possibility open. Take care, and I hope the rest of the evening is brilliant for you. Warm, specific, final. Leaves a good impression as the last thing you hear from you.
And that is episode 16. Social English, Small Talk and Networking. Today's episode was deliberately lighter because social English should feel light. It's not about being clever or perfect. It's about making people feel comfortable. It's about finding common ground. It's about showing genuine curiosity in another person. Those things are skills, and they improve with practice. Here is your challenge this week, and it's a social one. Start one conversation this week that you would normally have avoided. It doesn't have to be at a networking event. It can be with a neighbor, a colleague you've never spoken to properly, or the person behind you in a queue. Start it with a comment about your shared environment, just like Sophie did with the coffee. See where it goes. Then come back here and tell me about it in the comments. What I want you to comment below today is your answer to this question. What is the hardest part of social English for you? Starting conversations, keeping them going, or exiting gracefully? One of those three. Tell me. Your answer helps me plan future episodes, and I read every single comment. The free Q&A workbook for this episode is linked in the description. 21 questions on all three conversations with full detailed answers. Download it, use it. Episode 17 is coming, and here's your teaser. You're at a restaurant in London. You order in English, the food arrives wrong, the service is slow, and then the bill comes and something doesn't add up. Sound familiar? Next week, we go back to the restaurant, but this time we're taking everything we've learned about listening and about making complaints and combining them. It's going to be the most complete restaurant episode ever made in this series. You do not want to miss it. Keep listening, keep practicing, keep connecting. Every conversation is a chance to get better.